Alright, we're about to get this game going. And we're gonna see if YueY will be able to bring this back for rival gaming. YueY goes RAR. Welcome to the channel. We're excited to have you here because we're having a clan war best of 9 all kill series between the Confederation and rival gaming. This is game number 3 with Spyro on a 2-kill streak, being up 2-0 against rival at this time. So this map is Catellena. It's very familiar. It goes around in a circle just like any other map. And my name is not Tom. So, alright, let's introduce our players. Spawning in the 1 o'clock position of Catellena, it is the Golden Protoss, well, okay, more orange, from rival gaming, looking to get the momentum swung back into the favor of the rival clan. It is YueY. And at the 5 o'clock position of this map, it is the Pink Terran, already on a 2-kill streak, looking to get a 3rd win already. It is none other than the Confederation, Spyro. So, looks like they're chilling. Looks like they're chatting, you know, having all fair and dandy conversation as they're starting to build up. They're continuing to chat. YueY's asking if we've ever played PvT, and just saying just only a TVZ. So don't know what that means, but it looks like there might be some history between these two. So YueY's wondering what the score is. They're joking around. I keep talking to the observers. Why can't I talk to? Oh, I'm not set to a. I'm not set to a referee, so. So, they're continuing to chat. We see that Spyro scouted the wrong direction. Nothing new there. And we see that YueY is getting his gateway and then his gas at pretty much the same timing at this point. So, pretty normal PvT opener from our Terran player Spyro. And we're going to see how things play out. So, the beginning of this game, nothing really too exciting at this point. But we do see that they are going to scout each other relatively the same time. They're going to see the same sort of thing. And we're going to see that it looks like, if I'm not counting correctly, that there seems to be a distinct lack of SCVs. No, I'm just counting around. They're all in gas. But we do see the early command center and the early nexus from both players. So both players started right around the same time. So they have pretty similar builds, even though they're different races. But we do see that YueY is getting a second gas. So it looks like people from Mexico are currently here watching. So they're supporting YueY because why not? YueY's a good player. He's worth supporting. He could be the next pro player, so it's good to have a Mexican fan base. So we do see the second barracks going down for Spyro, so he's going to look to do a little bit of pressure with the reactor also. So and he is starting +1 infantry weapons, so he's going to get that +1 attack for his Marines and Marauders. So he's looking to get his upgrades a little bit early so he can get the damages later on. Reaper's going to come in and get 1 kill, and it looks like he already had a kill before that, so this Reaper is pretty content with himself. He's got 2 kills. He's like in Counter-Strike, where you are happy just with having 2 kills and having like 15 deaths. So not the good KDR, but hey, you're happy because you got 2 kills, right? Am I right? So bases are finishing up for both players, so more SCVs and probes are going to be created. We see more Marines being punched out and the missile turret being completed in the mineral line just to make sure that there are no proxy oracle shenanigans. We see the Reaper is actually looking for proxy oracles, but he's not going to be able to see it. So see anything because there is no proxy oracle. So he's going to circle on back. He's going to go ahead and scout some more. He'll probably die this time to the Stalker, if I were to guess. So Stalker's going to give some shots. And he's going to scout some more. He's going to scout the robotics facility, but then he'll die just like we all predicted. So more Marines being pumped out, stim packs being researched, and we do see that there is a bunker in the front as well as a missile turret. So this is going to first off deter any Dark Templar, and it's going to deter any Stargate pressure that's going to come up. So he might be thinking that there's a Void Ray bust coming up on 2 base, but that's kind of unlikely at this point. So more Marines being created. We see the factory has started for our Terran player. He's going to go ahead and start teching up to that next to those mechanical units. He is supply blocked a little bit, but his supply depot is going to be done here in just a moment. We see the first forge from YueY, and he's going to look to start his upgrades. We do see the start of the observer being created. So YueY's going to go ahead and get the observer just like normal. He already has one, so he's actually going to double observer. For most players, 1 observer is kind of enough, unless you need one to be with your base. But sometimes I know players like Rain and who else was a Protoss player that got 2 observers. I know Rain's kind of the big guy when you think about being safe. So just having that extra vision coverage is going to help with making better decisions because you have more more information to make a decision on. So this first observer is going to actually see this pack of Marines, there's 17 of them, move out, and the Marines, they don't know that there's an observer there. They haven't been told by their master. So it looks like they're going to do some pressure. We do see a couple of sentries and then some stalkers here, so they'll be able to do some force fields, do some cut and tearing of this army up. So defense won't be too bad for YueY. I should just expect minimum losses at this point. And from here, he does snipe the observer. He does see that one. So there is a third observer from YueY at the third base, looking and waiting for anything to happen there, but he's not going to see it. We see the stim up, and we're going to see the 2 force fields. The photon overcharge goes down, but 2 sentries get taken out, so already a massive amount of damage is being done by these Marines. But the photon overcharge is going to go ahead and ward them away. He does lose 8 of them, so ultimately he won some gas at that point for the trade. So not too bad, but he could have gotten a little bit more on it, I feel like, if he kind of pressed it. But at that point he was already losing too much. So another command center follow up from that small little pressure. He's going to go ahead and expand to his third right here, most likely. We do see the missile turret in the bunker still here, and then we see more Marines, a couple of Marauders, and medevacs have joined the crew. So one medevac's going to go and be distracting drop. All the other ones are going to do pressure at the front. You know how this dance goes. So this drop should actually be spotted. So we see the stalkers get sent out, and then we do see that there are force fields coming up. So not able to do too much. We do see the photon overcharge is acted, and it looks like this medevac's going to barely get away with its life. So very, very lucky medevac. If he was a little bit quicker with the stalkers, he would have been able to get that. But you know, at this point, he deflected an attack. It only costed him energy. So YueY doing a fine job with deflecting attacks at this moment in time. He's not losing too much that second round. So it looks like there's going to be a total of 6 racks going on. So that production is going to start ramping up pretty quickly here. We're going to see some Vikings come out. He did scout the Colossus, so he's going to start making Vikings. But the Colossus count might actually be ahead of the Viking count at this point. Unless he's going to utilize that reactor, that's going to help him. We do see the observer is still at the outside, so he's able to see kind of what's happening still. So, Armies gathering in the front. SCVs are going to repair the first medevac, spending their hard-earned money and their hard-earned cash. We do see the robotics facility is going to pump out another Colossus here in 1 second. It looks like it just popped out. And looks like this army is going to actually push out. So the Marines are coming out. They're going to scout for a third at this point. And they're going to actually spot the army here. So when you spot the army here, you may not necessarily like have spotted the expansion, but you can pretty much assume it at this point. So other Marine here is going to confirm that there is not an expansion here, and then there's one going to be outside the base. We do look like we see a little bit of pressure, and there's actually a money scan right here. So Vikings are in position, waiting to go ahead and snipe some Colossus if they can, but they're not going to do too much. The death ball is starting to gather up more. The pylon is completed, so the warp ins can happen, and we're gonna see that they're gathered around the bunker but are not actually in the bunker. So another pylon being created on the side. We see Blink is starting to be researched, and then we see the +2/+2 finishing up for the Terran, while the Protoss is only getting his +2 attack just starting now. But he does have that +1/+1. So that's kind of the downfall of going with one forge. So Vikings are going to get a little bit brave, and they're actually going to get caught by these stalkers. So losing one Viking, losing a second Viking basic, second Viking, that's going to lower the Viking count, which is going to make these Colossus a bit more powerful. So round of Zealots get warped in, so that's going to be able to absorb some of the damage, tank the damage from these Marines and Marauders at this point too. So another scan comes down. He's scanning for the army. He's putting scans all over the place. I can't even track where all the scans are. Oh, there we go. Scan at the thirds, so forth, so forth. So Spyro is getting his third at this point as well, and we're gonna see another warp in, and then I think YueY's gonna feel ready to commit to this. He has 180 supply. He has 116 army supply. So what he could do if he wanted to is just blink up to the main base and then have his Colossus kind of sit there. But Marauders are gonna kind of poke at this army, but you've just kind of awoken the beast at this point. So Stalkers are looking to commit, but they're not. We see the concave is real for the Terran player, and YueY kind of backs off at this point. So he is close to maxing out, and he's technically maxed out almost here. So I just repeated myself. So that's fun. So the upgrade advantage is definitely in Spyro's favor. Oh my god. That Colossus is... Oh, that would have been OP if the Colossus could go on this guy. It kind of looked like it from a graphic standpoint. So another round of Stalkers come in, and we're going to see that he is now down to 183 supply. Where did his supply go? Am I just seeing things? Probably just seeing things. So more pylons being placed around the map. He's got that second forge, so now he's finishing up with ground armor level 2, and he started his ground weapons level 3. We do see that the Terran army is actually going to move out here, so places a scan at the third to be able to see what kind of army is going to be there. He sees the whole shebang right there, and there's nothing at the fourth currently at this time. So these armies are about to clash. The Vikings are in the front, and they're actually going to get picked off by the Stalkers, or just one of them, and another one does a lot of damage. So one Immortal goes down. That's going to be rough, but force fields go down, and these Vikings are going to get picked off by the Stalkers, as the force fields kind of act as a way to be able to get these zone out. But the real question is, there's this whole bio army. So photon overcharge goes down, some more force fields go down. Not exactly the best force fields, but they are something to work with, and this photon overcharge is getting its use out, so picking off a good amount of units and such. And we see that this engagement is going to lead to the Protoss army being able to push back this bio army. So this bio army is very, very, very wounded. It could get picked off. The stim happens again, so I feel like he overstimmed his units. He's going to get some more Stalkers, but he's going to lose some of that too. But a fresh wave of reinforcements come, but we do see Storm is happening. It looks like he researched that in the background while he's waiting, and he's going to continue to pursue. So Cloak is almost finished up for the Ghosts that are going to be pumped out soon. So That's going to be the answer to the High Templar being able to do EMPs and do their snipes and everything. So another round of High Templar coming, as well as Zealots, and we're going to see some more pressure being put on from the Protoss player. 5 more gateways being created so he can pump out those gateway units, those High Templar and Stalkers and Zealots, and Colossus is still actually being worked out. So it'll be interesting to see if he's going to commit to more Colossus at this point, because usually what happens is that the Protoss player will transition out of Colossus, and then the Terran player will transition out of Vikings because of that. But sometimes you can trick your opponent into pretending you're getting that High Templar tech, and then just continuing to make Colossus, and then that can really upset the balance of the Terran army here. But it's something that can easily get spotted too, so not necessarily the best strategy to be able to meta focus, but we have seen games that were actually won that way. So 4th base being taken by the Terran player Spyro, and we see that YueY's looking to do the same thing. So they're both kind of trying to establish themselves for the long game, and the Protoss army is kind of walking around a bit. So this probe continuing to put pylons all over the map in the chance of warp-ins for base trade scenario and for other reasons. It looks like a medevac just got sniped, and we do see a dark shrine being created by our Protoss player, and we're going to see another command center, or excuse me, that's the same command center. We're going to see the Marines and continuing to be worked out, the Marauders as well, and then we see the +2 ship weapon. So Protoss army is going to come. They're going to force a cancel on this base, because they actually don't force a cancel. They get the destruction. So losing 400 minerals, that's pretty bad here for our Terran players. So we do see that the Viking count is continuing to be produced at this time. And so the Protoss is going to be careful with his Colossus. He has a 3. He's making a 4th or a 5th. But not sure what exactly is happening here. It looks like all the Colossus are being taken back, as well as the army actually. So we do see that there's Marines kind of scouting all over the place, but overall his vision is kind of just contained to his base, so he really kind of needs to get out on the map some more. So command center is being worked on again, but it's going to be worked on in base, and it's actually going to go here based on the positioning, and the Terran army is going to move out to try to do some more damage. We do see YueY is gathering, so now he has his 5-6 Colossus here, as well as his High Templar as well, and he's gonna, with these pylons, it's actually really smart. With these pylons, he's gonna see all of the movement of the Terran army, because they're gonna have to take out that pylon, otherwise reinforcements and such like that. So we do see that a big engagement is gonna happen. Let's zoom out so we can see the picture. Vikings are gonna go ahead and take out the mothership core, one shot practically Colossus, but the amount of AoE damage that's happened, the High Templar is doing a ton of damage to this bio, so by the time these Vikings are done, it's probably going to be too late. But we do see the bio army does still survive, and the Stalkers are going to get crushed by these Marauders, but the AoE storms are going to continue to happen. We see the Warp Prism is warping in some Zealots, and they're going to go ahead and take out the rest of this army. A couple High Templar get sniped, and overall this engagement goes to YueY. So YueY sitting at 118 supply, while Terran army is at 117 supply, or excuse me, 16 supply. And so YueY has a bigger army at this point, so he's going to want to be able to do some damage here. But we do see the Warp Prism in the main, warping in not only Zealots, but Dark Templars as well. So they're going to do a ton of damage here. The scan does go down, but at this time the third's being ravaged by the Colossus and the Zealots here. So more damage is being done, and the High Templar are just waiting for the Marines to come out so they can just drop those storms. So they're just waiting for that. And the Colossus is going to be pulled back for now, but at this point he could probably try pressing his luck at this point. So overall, good decision making made by YueY. We see the boys uphold, and he's going to go for one last rally. It is a small enough army, but it has a lot of storms here. So a little bit of micro, that's going to split up the army, and all these SCVs get caught in this storm, so half health already. And the Colossus can just shoot down, and that AoE damage is just going to be absolutely incredible. So more movement going around. Looks like there's wants to take this third base, try to get some mining in, but this Protoss army, it's it's gonna do damage and such like that. So it looks like he's actually going for that final attack. So does YueY actually know that this attack's coming? He doesn't, but once you see these High Templars, see these SCVs and such like that, they're going to start storming those SCVs. That's going to be an interesting storm. And they're going to start kind of storming out while the rest of the army. So can they hold on with these amount of Archons? Most likely. And they're just going to run into these Stalkers, blinking up into here. And they're going to go ahead and take out the army. And that's going to be GG. So YueY starts to bring things back for Rival. So GG. So thank you, Rayu Goes Rar, for following me, and it looks like a couple more followers happened as well. And Nori probably looks like followed, maybe. I can confirm by looking at my email, so thanks for the follows. And currently we are 2-1 in favor of the Confederation. So far, and we're going to see how far YueY actually is able to take this. We have seen YueY be fielded by Rival in the past multiple times, and he actually gets more than one win, so he could be a super strong player in the lineup for Rival Gaming. So oh, is that an email from work? Uh-oh. Crap. That's the last thing I want to see. So just give me 1 second here.